any way I want to get him. If I get the whole crowd shot, it's going to be the host. There's no way I can get him in the stands.
Hey, Hunter. How you doing?
Good morning to everybody. This is not unbelievable to me. I've heard many of you just kind of talking in the background at how surprised how many people are here and how many stakeholders in our community have shown up. But I'm not surprised at all. And that's because each and every one of you are why we are able to be where we are right now with this project. It has gone much better than most would have anticipated. But again, that's because of each and every one of you and what you've been willing to do and sort of go out on a limb and trust us, because with this project, we're doing a lot of things that have never been done before. We're changing the face of a lot of things, including education. And we're listening to our businesses and our industries. And we are trying to connect them with their future workforce, and I think you guys are going to see that that's what creating do. So first of all, I would like to ask any elected officials that are here, if you guys would please stand up, because I know you say this in a lot of meetings, but go ahead, stand up. All my elected people, stand up. And that's because without those people, like my front row right here, y'all are representing your fellow bosses, so please stand. Thank you. But just give a round of applause for our elected officials. And that's because the funding for Create. We're having to work to make sure that we're working with the right people for the sustainability funds, and it's because of our elected officials that we're able to do that. They're putting us in front of the right people to make sure that we're going to be taken care of. Also, our Oxford City Schools Board of Education has been instrumental. We definitely could not be doing this without them. If you guys would please stand. Also, Mr. Hopper. And then I have our Economic Development Council board. They are here as well. So if you are a member of the Economic Development Council, please stand. But what I need everyone here to understand is without the people that are sitting up here beside me, the purchase of this building would not have been possible. I spoke at an event recently, and one of the EDC board members was there, and he made sure that everybody understood that the EDC is not like a charitable organization. They don't just give you money for things. And they were very, very intentional about making sure we were able to all come together. Everybody has skin in the game to purchase this building because they understand the impact that it's going to have on the East Alabama region. Of course, we have Dr. Shannon Stanley, Mayor Kraft, Don Hopper and Marty Livingston are on the front row to my left, and these have been the integral players in moving Create forward. It's kind of funny because 3 of the 4 sitting on the front row have all been my boss at one time or another, and they cannot get rid of me because they're still stuck here with me. It's kind of a joke that Don Hopper still answers his phone when I call. If I were him, I would not, because every time I have a big ask, he always makes sure that that comes through. So 15 months ago, Dr. Stanley gave me a call and she said, hey, can you help me get our business and industry leaders together, just sit down for lunch and try to find out what can the school system do to better support them. And so we did. That was in November of 2022. And we began to visit some different places that had some things we were thinking. We made our first visit to a place called Pie in Cleveland, Tennessee, in January of 2023. And this is going to be funny too. If I got you to go to Cleveland, Tennessee 1, 2, 3 times, please stand up. Go ahead. I want y'all to see. Most of these people spend the night. They had no idea what they were going to. But I was very appreciative that because we asked, they said yes. Because they trusted that relationship that we had built throughout the years to know that we would not be asking if it was not something that we didn't feel like would benefit them directly. So, again, that's been 15 months ago. Over the summer, we began to realize our vision was not going to be able to happen as quick as we would like, unless we were able to secure somebody to sort of get behind the project, and that would be their sole focus. And I told you that I worked for all these people, and so the mayor was tired of me at this point. So he decided that he and the council and Dr. Stanley, they worked together to secure me for the next 5 years to direct the development of this project. I talked earlier this week with Senator Kelly, so we definitely have some people who aren't here that would like to be here, but they are in Montgomery. And he reminded us just how fast we have been able to do this. So there is a facility in Sylacauga called Earth. There's also one in Gaston that they're working on called the Challenger Center. And so collectively, we're working together to be able to market that regionally as a workforce development powerhouse here, because you have, and Dr. Stanley will talk more about that, you have these communities that are going to serve North, Central, and South in our little region here. However, Earth is 10 plus years in their planning stages, and we're going to start serving students in August. So let's see. So in March, just a little over a month ago, Oxford City Schools closed on this building, the old Honeywell building. It is a 95,000 square foot building. It is very, very large, and we've already pretty much filled up all of the space based on what we're going to do. I will tell you that CREATE is it's a regional workforce development, technology, and innovation center, and it's going to serve students across 5 counties. It's not just Oxford City School students, and that's been something that has always caught people by surprise. But again, we have to consider our region and everything that we're doing in our region to make sure that we are sustaining and growing. And so you look at this facility, it's at a prime location, and you think, what makes sense during the school day for a student? So about a 30 to 40 minute radius drive time, and that covers students in Calhoun, Cleburne, Clay, Talladega, and St. Clair County. There will be a phased approach, obviously. We will start this August with students enrolled at Oxford High School in some existing pathways that we're going to move down here. So our phase 1 pathways will be engineering, green power, robotics, computer science, modern manufacturing, comprehensive commercial construction, and we will begin building out the criminal justice pathway for a junior police academy, which is that's really something for all of us to be proud of. Sheriff Way, I see him here. I don't know Chief Partridge Man, he's teaching a class, but they've been instrumental in helping us develop that program. Year 2, we will then phase in the other school systems. And the same for year 3. Year 2, we will have cybersecurity, mechanical, industrial maintenance, electrical, industrial maintenance, transportation, distribution, logistics, STEM, research, innovation, and technology development. This is a great opportunity for our students, but also for our businesses and industries who are working alongside us. They have been there from the beginning in the initial planning stages where they decided, let's look at this curriculum together. Marty Livingston is the career tech director for Oxford City Schools, and he has been right there with our industries, working with the State Department of Education, making sure that the curriculum lines up with what they need, so that when the students graduate, the employers are not having to completely reteach them on what they are doing. Year 3, we're going to be able to offer an aviation pathway. Obviously, with our proximity in this building to the airport, we are working with the City of Anniston on an MOU for students to have access for training purposes to the airport. We have airlines who are hearing of our plans, and they have been calling us, and I'm just saying, you got to give us just a minute. Let us get students in the building in August, and then we will, we've got plans to go and visit some other places. But another component of Create is not only does it serve students, but it also serves adults in the evening, and we have already started that process. Many of you saw the commercial construction classes that were advertised a couple months ago, and those classes are currently taking place in the old lunchroom at Oxford High School, and that will move down here. It'll be through those doors beginning in August. It will continue for adults in the evening, and that will be offered to students during the daytime as well. And that is through a CICT grant. And some of you in this room have been so instrumental in making sure that we were able to do that. So again, it's changing people's lives. It's upskilling adults. We'll be able to offer incumbent worker training alongside our industries here in the evening as well. Scout is our project management company. Scout, along with Good Mills and Kaywood, they worked with us on the project, and they had to adjust to Dr. Stanley and I. We did not care about making the building look nice and shiny and pretty and just colorful and decorative. That is not our goal right now. Our goal is to get students in the building in August, and that's what we're doing. And so last night we were here working, setting up, and my boys said, "These chairs are terrible. Like, don't we have nicer chairs?" And I said, "Look, no, like I was sitting on the floor 2 weeks ago. I'm glad to have a chair and a desk to sit in because it's that brand new. I mean, we're just taking whatever we can find and making it work right now because the end goal is making sure that our students are having access to these opportunities, that our businesses and our industries are partnering right here with us. They're able to develop those relationships at a much younger stage with these students. And all of you know that relationships is what makes everything happen. And so that is a great way for our industries to start securing their future pipeline. Let's see. I think we've covered most of the big parts. I was telling someone earlier that I counted 79 partners that have been very integral and continue to be integral and will work with us in the future. And currently they are now Jackson State University, Gadsden State Community College. They have been here from the beginning. What can we do? How can we make dual enrollment possibilities free for these students? And that's what I've tasked them to figure out. Because we don't want to have any barriers here. We want this region to be able to grow. We want them to stay here. And so for that is why we're all here. I mean, when you look around the room and you see so many stakeholders, I was talking with Mike Ray beforehand, it definitely shows the commitment of the people here in East Alabama to make sure that this facility continues to grow, continues to be successful, and has all the sustainability funding that we will need to make sure that this is here for many, many years after we are gone. So for all of you else, I'd like for you to give yourself a hand right now because we could not be here without you. So at this time, I'm going to introduce Dr. Shannon Stanley, the superintendent of Oxford City Schools. We've had these relationships with our businesses and industries, but if we didn't have the students, none of it mattered. And so thanks to Dr. Stanley and her leadership, we have been able to get to the point that we are now. So, Dr. Shannon.
what it takes to be able to lift up a workforce region communities, in plural, and helping us make sure that our children have an economy that is vital and that is thriving in the community that they live in. And that's really what this is about. This all started a little over a year ago, and some of the people here were in the room, and we talked about what can we do. We're usually, as educators, asking what you can do for us. Well, it's all about what can we do for you to get the workforce that you need to thrive. Because if you thrive, we thrive. And so that's one of the things that we've been talking about. But I have to recognize the other school systems that have agreed to come in and collaborate and partner. Because we all know we're working toward the same goal. But sometimes the way education is structured, it seems a bit competitive. Because you're going after the same resources. But what we realized, especially in our workforce region, we realized that if we added up all of our seniors that graduated each year, it will not cut the need for workforce demand for our industry and our community, which means it's all in. If you total them up, we still don't have enough kids going out into the workforce pipeline. So we've got to understand this is a collaborative event. And so I would love for our school leaders that are here representing systems, if you would stand up for just a moment. I'd love to recognize you. I know there's people here. So Piedmont City, sure Piedmont City. All right. Calhoun County, Madison City, I don't know if Dr. Hill was able to make it, but he wanted to come and see her. There you are. How are you? And Talladega County, they are on board too. Cleveland County, Clay County, Dr. Martin, I don't original partners that are going to be doing this in the future. So just think of this, 5, 6, 7 years into the future. In the South and Choccolocco, you have Earth. Earth has a lot of some of our similarities, but they're also a little different. Central workforce region is Create in Calhoun County. North, and I always say this wrong, I want to say Discovery, but it's the Challenger Center in Etowah County. We are, as far as I know, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, we will be the only workforce region that has 3 innovation centers in the South and Central part of our workforce region. That is a powerhouse in the making, guys, and that means a lot when you are trying to expand your industry and business or recruit additional and identify what your specialty is. We know what Huntsville's specialty is. What's our specialty? And I think that's where we begin to really take off. So I'm excited about that. I'm so thankful for each and every one of you, everyone who's on the Create Development team. You're the reason that we're here today because you've gotten behind this and you've talked to others, you've communicated, and you've advocated for what we're doing for the system. East Alabama Works, Lisa's listened a lot to the dreams and the aspirations that we've been talking about here. And I saw Lana. There's Lana in fact. Lana is a fearless driver who's helping us sustain our funds to be able to keep this going and keep it expanding. So thank you all very much, and I look forward to what's coming next. The best is yet to come. Thank you.
Dr. Stanley mentioned the Create team members, and it's a lot of you. And so if you're sitting and you have served on the Create team, please stand. And if you're standing, please raise your hand if you have served on any of the Create teams. At this time, I would like to introduce the greatest mayor of all time. Mayor Alton Kraft for the city of Oxford. He is going to, talk to us about all the ways that we continue to be a growing powerhouse here. He's going to get us in that right number. We're going to be our own power city here. So, Mayor Kraft.
The bad news for you is that my staff even said, "Mayor, we talking to raining and on, so you get up there for hours." But the good news is, Don and Marty, y'all haven't been able to go get it. I'll give you a little history lesson. When I first became mayor, everybody was praising me, and you get those accolades, and you start believing. And so I thought, well, I'm the next reincarnation of Leon Smith. I didn't do anything. I started meeting with manufacturers and developers, and I found out real quick I knew nothing. I thought, wow, and I'm really lost. And one thing that kept getting thrown out that we kind of used, I think, as a tool to recruit people, we used the word targeting. And so when we talked about being more and being like 60% the poverty level, we thought that was good because we called it cheap labor, and that's what I thought that everybody was here. But that's not what the people from other countries were here. What they heard when you said that, they feel like you got lazy leadership who's not leading people correctly. They feel like you got lazy people, and then you feel like you got uneducated people. And so they look at our workforce and they don't really find that it's very good. I actually got in an argument, and one of Don's doing, I think I killed that business for you. They started talking about how sorry how bad the worker was, and I'm going, sorry, and we got great workers. And so the thing about that was, again, they were talking like this, so I thought, well, what we need to do is we got to figure out, we got to change the narrative. So I met with Dr. Goodwin and some of his staff, and I think some of the board members, and we started talking about the math and science center. And boy, that took off real good. We talked to them, and it sounded like they were going to do something up here. And then all of a sudden found out most of the people either retired and was helping us or got another job. So I figured there's some politics involved in that. And so they kind of died out. But during that meeting, they kept using this word STEM. They kept going, we got STEM. I didn't know what STEM was. I started going, STEM, And they said, you know, they described it. I said, oh, so it's like what we used to call shop or trade school. And they go, well, it's not more than that. But that's what I could kind of digest it. So I said, well, that's what we do. We need to get this workforce going. Okay? So go forward a little bit, and we're doing a bond issue. And usually, when we go to New York and get a bond rating, Moody's and Standard & Poor's, you know, the first thing I do, I talk to the council. Of course, we got one council member he's going to say is ROI. That's Stephen. He likes to say the ROI. Then Mike's going to go out the interest rates and how it's going to affect us and starts the business number. And Bill Gardner's a salesman, and they talk about it, and they do a real good job. And then at the end, Chris, being a preacher, goes, let us pray. But they do a great job, and they're real instrumental in stuff. So we need to go get this rating and everything. So when I go up to New York, you got to have kind of a hook. You're selling your city. They already know all your financials. They know everything about you. And they're going to give you a rating based on what you're talking about. And so when I get up there, I got about 15 minutes to reel these folks in. And so I've been doing that for a long time. But anyway, so I'm trying to reel them in, and I'm looking for keywords. I'm trying to hit them with a word that they have. And so I'm going through it, and it was bad. I was going, I'm just down here. And I threw out, you know, all of a sudden I said, you know, we're looking at workforce development. And buddy, an hour and a half later, we're still talking. And I basically came up with a statement. I said, you know, he who wins that fight wins the war. And they loved it. And for that, we got a great bond rating and everything. And then again, we speed forward a little bit further, and Dr. Stanley comes in the office. She gets hired, she comes in my office, and you can tell Dr. Stanley, a lot of times, people, the first time they meet the mayor, they don't know how to talk to you. You know, some of them know how to speak, and some of them know it's real lowest thing. But they don't know how to talk. And you can tell Dr. Stanley was a little uncomfortable. And I was throwing some ideas about, you know, I want to change this narrative. And she told me about the IB program. I had no idea. And, but, you know, she's throwing that at me. And I said, yeah, but that's, you know, that sounds really good, but, you know, I want to include everybody. And then when I said that, she said, well, we're talking about workforce development. And at that moment, folks, the pathetic went off in my office. Dr. Stanley, we're dancing. Oh, we love our conversations here. My sister, she can tell you, my conversations didn't start off simple like this. My conversation goes here. There, and all they get back to here. But Dr. Stanley and I was having a breakdown. But I'm going to tell you, from that moment on, generally speaking, and this board, these folks over here can tell you that, generally speaking, in this area, we put on the gas to start with, and then for some reason we just apply the brake. We just stay on the brake. But not Dr. Stanley, not her. You know, so we're talking about it. Next thing I know, Dr. Stanley's coming to me and the council, we're going to do a bond issue. I say, what? We're going to do a bond issue. We're going to buy a building. We're going to buy what building? We're going to buy the Honeywell building. And of course, the gentleman that owns the building, he sometimes, I like it, but we sometimes have different opinion on how we're going to get to the bottom line. But anyway, they work and they get all this stuff. And like I said, what you said, 15 months? 15 months? I mean, we're in the business. I mean, we went to the buy centers. We went to all these places. We did all this, and we did it for a lot of you. And again, it is the game changer. This will, East Alabama, I've said this once, I'll say it until I'm not there or until I die. East Alabama should not be the ditch between Atlanta and Birmingham. It should be the pinnacle. We should be the tallest building. We should be the place where everybody's coming. And we're starting to get that reputation. And I will tell you this, the reputation that this area's got, it's not the one reputation, I guess. There is that we're trying. Okay, that's starting to get out there. But the one thing that I hear constantly about our area, these counties, is how great the people are. Folks, y'all are the greatest secret on the planet. People don't know who we are. But when they learn who we are, they want to be here. We got people wanting to live here. I got people from New York living here now, Chicago, got people from California. They come here, and the first thing when I talk to them, and these folks are different too, they come up to your house and start talking to you because they find out you're there. But they come and talk to me, and they go, we love this place, and we love your people. I said, well, they're not my people, they're our people. And so, again, with that, I close saying this. I appreciate everybody in this room. I think that this is the way that we become that pinnacle. And I do appreciate all the industrial leaders having, spending time with us. I do appreciate all the service leaders of the banks. Most of the banks here were my mentors. They taught me everything. I know Keith, sorry that he taught me how to do the spread between money because I remember today. But I do thank y'all for everything, and I do appreciate what y'all done. And so, yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Kraft. I always get nervous. I never know what he's going to talk about or what story he's going to tell. But he has been such a blessing to our area. And most of you who know him and have worked with him know that if you bring him an idea that makes sense, he will make sure that he gets behind you and supports that to see it all the way through. And so for that is why he is the greatest mayor of all time. So thank you, Mayor Kraft. At this time, I am going to introduce Mr. Don Hopper. He is the Executive Director of the Calhoun County Economic Development Council, and he's waiting to see what else I might say about him. I will say he is my mentor, and there is no way we would be where we are now if he would not, he stopped answering my phone call. So, Don Hopper, thank you.
She worries about what the mayor's going to say. I worry about the board. I will say there's usually two things that I try to avoid when I'm talking or when I'm giving a presentation. I try to avoid preaching and I try to avoid crying, and I usually don't do either one real well. So I will tell you that before we start. But anyway, I will tell you, we got the call about the Pie Center. We've heard about it. Partners in Education, I think is what we call it in Tennessee. And we went up there. I brought it back to our board of directors. And we talked about it. And they said, "Man, that sounds great. That sounds great. We need something like that." Brought along a few months later, and we had Shannon and Lori came and talked to our board, to the EDC, and they said, told them about what we were doing and what we were doing with this building, and our board said, "That's great. What can we do with it?" And so I will tell you that we're not, we don't just give away money, but we know that we need, that this is the pipeline we need. Our board voted obviously unanimous to help support that. We didn't just vote to support that, we voted to, we agreed to create an actual fund for workforce development. We're selling some property and we're going to dedicate a portion of that money to workforce development so that we can help projects like this, like the Create Center. We're excited to be part of it. So I can just tell you that our board looks outside the box, trying to find ways to help. And the other question is, well, what does that do with economic development? What's the Create Center got to do with economic development? Well, let's look at our existing industry. Most of the time, an existing industry is looking to expand. They're in competition with their sister organizations around the country. We need to be able to help build their pipeline of people. And that's what we think the Create Center is going to do. When companies, and it's like recruiting a new industry when the existing industry is expanding. So that's what we're looking for with our existing industry. The first thing we think we did when we started talking about the Create Center was listen. Here's my preaching. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. So we need to listen more than we talk. And so that's what we try to do. I used to tell that to Lord, she didn't believe me. So, but I will say that we try to listen. And that's what our existing industry program, Laurel Park, does a lot of work with our existing industry. We want to listen. What do you need? What can we do for you? And we think workforce continues to be the question. You've got on the back of these of this that talks about the different pathways. A lot of those pathways are what we heard, or what we keep hearing from our existing industry. Our existing industry is important to us. our jobs come from our existing industry. Okay, so yeah, okay, create helps us with that. What about the new industry? What about our prospects? What about those? Well, I'll try to tell you real quick. If you've heard this story, just chew me out like you probably already have. We had a company here several years ago, and I was talking to the mayor about it actually this morning. It was in the mayor, across from the mayor's office. This was their third visit. We thought we were going to get that business. We thought we were winning that project. We were making presentations. We thought we had it. We really did. I mean, it was their third visit. It just doesn't happen. And you could tell we had the decision makers at the table. And one of them, the lead gentleman, stopped me and said, "Don, I'm going to get a good site. I'm going to get infrastructure. I'm going to get incentives. I'm going to get all the things I need." And then he paused and he said, "I need people." So eventually they didn't close it. But I'll tell you what they can do with creation. What we can do is we can build that pipeline. We've got, the state of Alabama has a world-class AIDT workforce training organization. AIDT is best in the country. It's rated number 1 or 2 every year. They'll help you get those people. What that gentleman really wants to know is, where's my pipeline? Next time we talk to that company, next time we talk to the company who asked those questions, we can point to our Create Center. We can point to the other organizations that are around. That is how we close that next deal. We can build that pipeline. I can tell you, we thrive at the EDC on relationships. And this is where I'll try not to cry. We love this community. This is a great place. This is not that ditch between Birmingham and Atlanta. You're right, Mayor. I love that phrase. We are the pinnacle of Birmingham. We just have to get that. We have to take the basket off of our land, because we are a great place for businesses to locate, to grow. It's a great place to work, live, and raise a family. We've got all the technical things that we can do. We've got all this we've got the computer science we talked about a minute ago. But it's still about relationships. And that's what we hope when we build with our existing industries, with our companies that are here, and that we build with those prospects. What we've got to do is find that relationship with these young people so that they can get out of here, graduate through the creation, and stay here. That's where we've got to keep these young brains. I can talk all day. I appreciate the opportunity. We are excited. The EDC is excited to be a partner in this. Every time the mayor comes and talks about partnerships with the EDC, we're always on board. We do appreciate being included and want to be there as we continue to grow. Thank you.
So again, thank you all for being here today. We have shared a lot of information. We've shared some of our story to how we got to this point. But again, everything that we've learned about relationships is why this room is full. It is why you can look around and see stakeholders from every sector, from your industry, from your businesses, from your municipalities, from your financial institutions. We support each other. This is home. This is home to all of us. And I think what you can find in a lot of our schools is you can ask 10th and 11th graders what, if they're going to leave or they're going to stay, and they all want to say, "No, I'm leaving. I'm never coming back." Well, that was me. I said I was leaving and never coming back. And as you all know, I have never left. And Oxford is it just means so much to me. But the mayor was very careful in making sure that when we were coming up with the name of this facility, that we didn't put the word Oxford in that. Because we wanted this facility, we wanted everyone to have ownership, to feel that ownership. Every student, no matter where they go to school. And so we were very intentional when we were talking through that because this facility is for our region. It is for you, it is for your children, it is for your grandchildren. And this is the way to let them understand what job opportunities we really do have here, especially inside our manufacturing industries. We started taking teachers on industry tours about 10 years ago, and it was a game changer because the stereotype was just, it was bad. And they began to go in and they were able to see, wow, look how clean this facility is. Look at all these different jobs that are here. And then they started learning what these people were making. And we had teachers asking for applications because they were retiring in a year or two and they wanted to go work in our industries. But the light bulb went off for so many of our teachers because they saw jobs in these facilities that they instantly thought, oh my goodness, I have a student, they would be perfect at that job. Oh my gosh, I know a child, this would be an excellent avenue, a great career for them. And so through Create, all of these careers and pathways do afford a student the opportunity to go straight into work in that field. But also, every pathway we mentioned has growth. It has a 2-year degree, it has a 4-year degree, it has a master's degree under those umbrellas. And so there's no limit on how far a student can take their career. We are just giving them the foundation and the knowledge and the opportunity. They have to bring their work ethic. And it is an opportunity that I know many of us wish that we would have had. So again, thank you for being here. What we're going to do next is we're going to take a group picture of everybody here, and I have cameras that are working now, so I will know if you try to get past this and don't stay for the picture. Because this is a monumental day here in Calhoun County in Oxford to be able to do this, and I want to document it. That everybody that was here is sharing this with us. And so we're going to take a group picture. We're going to let the media kind of get resituated because we've got some people that are going to stay behind and do some individual interviews with the media. And so if that's you, make sure you stay after we get the pictures done. But after we take our group picture, unless you have to kind of stay, we invite you to just go walk around the building. On the back of your agenda is sort of a layout that lets you see where the pathways are going to be. And so you can kind of go and explore, but you'll see that this building is in amazing condition, and we're very fortunate to be able to be the owners of it. So again, thank you all for coming today. If you will stand, you're going to have to move your chairs. Everybody's